I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? It is season 2, episode 12 of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington.
And your boy, B to the C.
Need you to step your shit up. You got to be there.
Well, I'm really confused because you were like, I'm just going to wait till the timer hits the right moment. And the timer's counting up to me. You did it at 15 minutes and 13 seconds.
No. I did the intro because we started. So for those that don't know, I hit the record button early on this. And then my kids called me, and so then daddy duties took over. And so I went from there. And then I was like, how can I, when I have to edit this, make it even? I was like, it was at like 14 some change. I was like, I'll just wait till it hit 15 minutes on the dot, and then I'll start talking. This way I know when I edit it to how to cut it up. Smart ass.
Well, yeah, but again, you said 15 on the dot. My clock here was at 15:13 when you started. And I was like,
I don't know what your clock said. I don't don't trust your clock. I don't trust your clock. I know what my clock said, okay? I know what my clock and my Jesus tell me. Okay? I know what my Jesus tell me. What's going on, man? How was your holiday? All that good stuff.
Oh, man, it was good. It was filled with so much bland white people food. It was fantastically terrible. But I had a good time. I took my buddy Teddy, and Teddy got to hang out with my very white family, and he had a blast.
That's funny.
It was kind of good because I got to just kind of sit back in the corner and let Teddy go, entertain my family.
That's funny.
I could just watch me lose money on the NFL all day long.
Dude, I have not. I just got my fantasy team set. I just like, yo, as long as I don't have Thursday games, I'm good. Yeah. My soul can't handle it. I was like, I ain't got no Thursday games, but that's good, man. My Thanksgiving was interesting.
Oh yeah.
I almost didn't leave my house. My depression kicked in real bad.
Ooh, I should have messaged you. I'm sorry, buddy.
You don't love me. You don't love me.
You're such a dick. You know.
Let me tell you something. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I am actually glad that this is the first year I didn't get 1,000,007 different text messages because it's weird on Thanksgiving because it's like everybody wants to text people and then you got to try to remember to text everybody back.
Yeah,
and I'm not the best at unless I'm immediately having a conversation with you, just texting right back. Yeah. And so some people that if you caught me early enough, happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day, happy Turkey Day. Happy unfortunate people got slaughtered. Now we celebrate day. Yeah, the same on that shit. And so, but I was depressed, man. Like my loneliness and shit can't kick in heavy. And here's the problem too. I was trying to joke a lot about a lot of stuff to keep myself in better spirits, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you, this is something I put on Facebook as a joke. That I don't know if people really caught on to the joke at the end. Cause I was like, yo, I was serious, but I was joking at the same time. Here it goes. I said, I'm not sure if people fully understand how there can be a combination of things to make someone sad on a holiday. Loss, grief, loneliness, not feeling understood, emptiness, and a few other things. Put that all together and you'll finally get why people go into severe depression. ... When that secret plate they put in the back of the fridge gets eaten. They've been really wanting that. Like it's so much better after a day and you've been waiting a whole damn year. No one caught the end of it. Everybody.
That's the intention of it. People read the first. Oh, he's sad. Click.
It was that. Nigga, I couldn't even. Y'all missing a whole punchline.
There's a whole paragraph with a punchline. Read the punchline there. We do this. They do this run downtown Dallas on Thanksgiving called the Turkey Trot.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to go do it because there's normally really hot girls in yoga pants.
Mm-hmm.
It was pouring down rain.
Can I get to the games?
And so we still went, but I grabbed my only pair of like waterproof boots. So I'm like, I don't want no wet socks. I ain't doing that shit. So we get there, I put on the boots, I get out the car, we start walking up to the starting line. My whole sole of my right boot falls the fuck off.
Oh my God.
The whole sole just falls off. And I'm like, well, I ain't walking these 3 miles.
Well, that's not a done thing for today. You know what?
Y'all go ahead, have fun walking. I'm going to sit my ass down and just look at the girls in yoga pants.
Damn. That's sad.
Yeah, so that was my Thanksgiving morning.
And then you went and had bland white people food.
And then I had bland white people food.
So no, I was really depressed, I'll be honest. And again, shouts out to everybody who reached out and who commented after the last episode when we talked about seasonal depression and loss and things like that. And everyone who's, told me, how they've been feeling, and everyone who's reached out to me and personally and whatnot. And so I appreciate everyone. But it was like I got invited to go to one house, and I was just like, first house, I was like, nah, I just don't feel like going nowhere.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point I got told, like, yo, you need to make sure, get out the fucking house.
Yeah. And
so then I got invited to my boy Mateen's in-laws house. And I wasn't going to go at first because, again, it was like, so I have this thing where I don't like asking people about something like, yo, can I come to something? Mm-hmm. If I'm not invited, I always personally
feel the same way.
If I'm not invited personally, and it's not to be arrogant, I feel like if I'm not invited, I just wasn't wanted there. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to be a burden. I know that feeling very well. I know exactly what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to feel like a burden asking anyone about anything. So I ended up going. So I got called. It was like, yo, just come out. Trust me, just come out. And I was like, cool. And so I came out. We had good time. There was good food there. There was a smoked turkey and smoked fried turkey. And oh my God.
See, that would have been,
bro. What made it so good was it was still moist. Like, you know how some turkey just be dry as shit, and you like, I need something to wash this bird down with.
It's like eating a Popeye's biscuit.
Yeah, but sometimes that's a life in the situation there. And so you had that. And so then after that, I went to my other buddy's house because he invited me over. Now, he knew I was coming. And so he made macaroni and cheese, which I was like, because there's been an understanding. Don't invite me to your motherfucking Thanksgiving if all you got is green bean casserole. I'll kill everybody.
All I ate at my family's house was the macaroni and cheese.
I had macaroni and cheese. And like my boy, he has his own like restaurant, cooking business. Nice. He can cook his ass off. And so I hung out for a while, and then we, a bunch of us that were comics from Chicago that were there and whatnot. And one of the guys started pouring shots. Now, I'm a shot dude. I'll take it, whatever. But it was a shot in a mini mason jar. And the mini mason jar, I don't know how, that it wasn't the typical shot size, but he filled it up. And my stupid ass was like, yo, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to take this shot. I took that shot. I was like,
I'm fucked.
Oh, somebody help me, Jesus. Help me, Lord. I stood bent over, was like,
help me, Tom Cruise.
Help me, Oprah Winfrey. Help me, Tom Cruise. I started praying to everybody. Help me, Ricky Bobby. So then we took another one. After a while, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home because I felt it. And so went home. The next day, I did a couple shows. It was cool. We had 2 shows, one in Orange County and then one at the Comedy Chateau. Then yesterday, Saturday, I had to do a show at a yoga studio during a yoga course. So the way a homie of mine has this comedy show says that he's a yoga instructor, but he's also a comedian. He has the comics go up and do 5 to 7 minutes a piece at the beginning while they're doing just basic stretching to get loose, right? Then when he goes into the actual practice, the comics are just riffing, cracking jokes about everything.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he understood how much I was going to go in. I went in nonstop for 39 minutes, when I tell you the other girl in the comics, I guess she's not used to just being so quick off the dome like that. Me, I'm that dude. I'm like, you tell me just to fire off, I'm just going to fire off. And so it was so fun, everybody. Man, I made people laugh, breaking in poses, bro. People was out here trying to do downward dog, crying, laughing. I was like, winner. And so after that, I ended up doing the Laugh Factory in Hollywood last night, second show. And I got to perform with two, like, legit. I've been blessed to perform with a lot of superstars recently. Like, I performed with Carolyn Rhea from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Ooh,
and
nice.
then, I've been doing a bunch of shows with Caroline. And then I did a show with Jerry Bednob. Now, you might not know the name, but do you remember the Indian dude that worked at Smart Tech on the 40-Year-Old Virgin? It was like,
yeah.
So I worked with him. Now, Jerry's older, even older than what he was then, right? So Jerry's on stage. He's real soft, so you got to kind of listen. Crowd's got to be quiet to hear him, but he's hilarious when he talks. And then at a couple points, he was like, and stop. And everybody was like, what the fuck? So I go up after that, right? First thing I said, I just need to ask a question. Was I the only one who, when Jerry stopped twice, was like, oh shit, is this it? Like, because he took that second stop and then everybody just took a deep inhale, like, and I was like, how the fuck do I hit record on my phone now? How do I explain this? I was like, niggas would never believe me if I tell them, bro, I was finna go up at the Laugh Factory, right? And I was finna follow the Indian dude from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. And the nigga died. I was like, well, let me drink this tequila. But nonetheless, that's all been fun. That's been good. Everything has been popping, man. I just wanted to make sure everybody who's listening has had a happy Thanksgiving. We are now in the midst of the holiday season. I officially am broke. So today's my son's birthday is why today's my son's 19th birthday. So I had to, go negative in my bank account for him because it's his birthday. And as a father, I want to make sure he has something for me. But let's get to it though. For those who are new to the show.
Dog, just to let you know, I'm with you. I got like $3 in one account and both my credit cards are negative right now.
Dude, I'm mad that I have credit cards.
I'm like, how the hell am I gonna handle Christmas shit?
I'm so mad that I'm not gonna lie, I have credit cards and I'm mad that I have them because they get so easy to want to use.
Yes.
You're just like, I'll just put it on the credit card. And my daughter's mom put me up against. She was like, yeah, just make sure you pay the minimum balance down. And then because the more you pay it down, the more they're gonna keep just giving you more money. I was like, bitch, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. What the fuck you think this is? Just pay it down. They're gonna give you some more money. Bitch, no. So nonetheless, man, we here get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel DC live action cinematic universes. Barbershop Talk for Nerds. I always say this out the gate. You're gonna hear some shit if I say something that might get you in your feelings. That is on you and your feelings. Okay. You need to talk to your therapist about it. And if you don't have a therapist, get a Noom session. Do some shit. I don't know. Don't fuck to tell you. You better listen to an Audible book. Fucking mad at me for some bullshit. But let's kick it. It's some news, but it's not a lot as always. We'll probably stretch it out.
It's that end of the year shit where it's like, all right, let's just, put some news out there, whatever.
That's literally what it feels like. And I think we can kick it off best with Marvel news and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, man. Did you watch it?
Yes.
Bro, by the way, we're gonna talk spoilery, but also my full review as well. Another review I have is up on the YouTube channel, youtube.com. You can do at Mr. J Washington on YouTube. Find that. Dude, I hollered laughing so much.
So much fun. And also, I was saying this on my other show. I was like, you know what this is? This is let's set up Guardians 3 and tell you where everyone is too. Because they gave us a lot of information in this.
Nigga, the Guardians bought nowhere?
Right?
From the Collector, which I don't think nobody understood. I didn't know he owned nowhere. I didn't know
I didn't know that either.
I just thought he had a shop.
But when you think about it, it makes perfect sense because that was probably the first piece of his collection there.
Is the head of the hollowed out head of a Celestial. And so, dude, the singing is Christmas time. The song, shouts out to the old 97s. The song that James Gunn made up for the movie where he basically is like, Christmas don't make no sense when you think about it. And the lyrics, you're like, oh shit, you're right. It don't because
And just having Star-Lord be like, wait, no, that's not. Oh my god,
that's not what it means.
No,
no. How did that reindeer get red? No, it's not. Ah, shit. And Peter hating Christmas because he hasn't been home for Christmas. And you found out in the beginning of the story Kraglin tells, Yondu kind of fucked Christmas up for him. But then we find out Yondu didn't fuck up Christmas.
Those bookends were really good. And I love that they decided to use animation to do them instead of getting a young Star-Lord and bringing back Yondu.
And yeah, having to put Michael Rooker all in the makeup and everything. Hey boy, you Ravagers, we don't want handouts, we work for everything.
And I as soon as I saw, however, I will say, as soon as I saw he had a present for Yondu, I was like, oh, I bet it's one of his little things he likes to keep on his.
It's the first figurine.
Yeah.
It's the reason now he collects figurines. It's the little Grogu looking figurine,
which added so much more. And I was just like, oh, it just takes me back to he may have been your father, but I'm your daddy.
I'm your daddy.
And I just that might be the most emotional death within the MCU.
Yes. Yondu's death was hard. And again, there's a lot. Somebody said there's a lot of daddy issues in the MCU, and you see it. Yeah. To find out that Mantis is Star-Lord's half sister, which explains how Mantis can put Ego to sleep.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't think a regular ability will put a Celestial to sleep.
But now you know she's part Celestial.
She's part Celestial. So that's how she could, that's how she was able to start holding down Thanos till her dumbass half brother,
Which also opens up the possibility of, there's probably a lot more brothers and sisters out there.
Because he made it seem because Ego was under the impression everybody died.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, he knew Mantis, he just didn't tell Quill.
Yeah.
He made the impression of Peter, shall I say.
Because Mantis was still useful to him.
She was useful.
Yeah.
She was useful. She could make him rest. And so, dude, to see the way they let Palm Clementif go in this one, bro. I said it in my review. You know how you used to get he's Drax. When she was getting pissed off at this nigga.
No, Drax, you can't just kill people.
Somebody tell me, bro.
At the same time, I'm sitting there going, y'all just fucked up a lot of police.
That's another thing. We didn't know she could fight. But god damn, she was the nose.
I got so mad. I wonder if you could throw me over this. And then later, she's just jumping.
You thought about that too.
You could have jumped over there.
But that means she was going to say something afterwards that we don't know what the end was because he just hold this bitch like yoink.
You know what I really thought? I thought he was going to break through the fence. I thought he was going to throw her and then just break it down.
Dude, I love the way Kevin Bacon was in this. Perfect. Like Kevin Bacon was perfect in this. And also, when they take this nigga on, is it the Bowie? On the Bowie? When they take him on the Bowie, and then they start realizing he's not no goddamn hero. He's an actor. Actors are repugnant. We hate actors. What? How meta is this shit right now? They just pretend to be people? Dude, I was crying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, y'all are actors, but it's so dope the way it's done. Here's the best part one of the best parts for me. We got somebody introduced into the MCU, a whole group of people that I never would have expected. The motherfucking GoBots. What?
Yeah.
Dude, when they went on Hollywood Boulevard, I was trying to figure out when they filmed that. Because here's the thing, I don't think, because yes, that was them in the real costumes and that was real people taking pictures. I don't think people might have known that was really them. I don't think everybody know. If I'm a bet, because you can't get regular people like that. Just like I don't think everybody realized that's really Mantis and Batista from the movie.
Yeah.
Because if you've
It
been
might
on
have been.
you've been on Hollywood Boulevard, you've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
people dressed up in costumes and characters. So when I saw it, it was so cute though. When Mantis thought she saw Steve, she was like, Steve! And dude just ran up, bitch, get him off me. But when I was watching it, I was like, when it first happened, I was like, okay, I see Ant-Man, I see Jack Sparrow. These are all Disney shits,
Yep.
right? These are all Disney shits. So cool. What else are we gonna see? And I looked up and saw fucking Psych Hill. I said, wait a minute. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't know who the GoBots are.
No.
And I know that. That's how again, this is why I am such a fan of James Gunn. To go such a deep cut, to also get the rights to the GoBots.
Yeah.
And so
it's really hilarious. So I used the very first show I was ever on was a show called SCNS Live, which is, we would talk about all the nerd shit. But our main host was a huge Transformer fan and hated the GoBots with
absolutely. Look, I'm cool
and so
with
when
both.
I saw them, that's the first thing I thought of, and it cracked me up.
I'm cool with both, even though yes, the GoBots were the cheesier version.
Yes,
like the GoBots were the app. Even the way when they changed and it looked so bad. Like the Transformers, it was like, okay, you like, oh, Optimus Prime whole body got to turn around for your legs. But when she said he doesn't like the GoBots killed his cousin. What? And then Mantis is taking pictures, collecting dough, getting bread, bro. And all of a sudden we see Batista beating the shit out the nigga in the Psych Hill costume. I was like, yo. But it got better because then they go to a gay bar.
Which I was really shocked. I was like, are they going this route? The police academy
route? That's the same thing I thought.
But then they just play it off as they're just having a good time. And I'm like, okay, cool. I like this.
Did you realize who the bartender was?
No, I don't
Fula
think so.
Borg.
Oh, was it?
It was the dude that played Javelin. It was Fula fucking Borg.
That's awesome.
But
that's some James Gunn shit.
When fucking Mantis takes the first shot, she was like, give us with the money all the table. You got drinks, give us libations. She took the first shot, that bitch was like, give me more. And was getting fucked up, nigga. Oh.
I love the continuation of the joke about of Drax and not dancing.
Not dancing, he just doesn't dance. But also not realizing he was getting hit on by a dude. So you want to dance? I don't dance. Let me buy you another drink. Sure. Drax has no idea. No idea what's going on.
I really enjoyed this, and it's definitely going to be in my wheelhouse of Christmas shows I watch every single year.
It will. But again, it gave us a lot. Also, after Kevin Bacon realizes where he is, Star-Lord has meant to take him out the trance, and he sings and performs everything. Shouts out to Nebula dancing. It looks so awkward. But
Nebula was so dope in this.
Oh yeah, actors really aren't full of shit. What? But the best part, and I'm sorry, bro, is when they start giving gifts. And Nebula gives Rocket
Bucky's arm. I was like, oh no shit. No. Oh my God. We have to figure this out at some point on something. How did this happen?
How did she get Bucky's arm?
I honestly, after I saw that, I was like, oh, he's gonna show up. He's gonna show up and take it back or something.
Nope.
I gotta ask you though. The post-credit scene.
Groot ruining Christmas.
And then him going, now we have to do another special.
So
what do you think?
I think so. The thing is, you don't know. The majority of this team is dying, right? But we don't know who. The thing about Groot, and John has said this, every Groot is a different Groot.
Yeah.
So even every time he evolves, he's a different Groot. So even if you blow Groot up again and he starts back as a new tree, you can bring Groot back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will do it now that you got Cosmo in here. I think we do get another holiday special. The question is, what director minus Taika
could do it?
Can give you James Gunn's feel?
I think Taika's the only choice. And you know what? I would love Taika for this. This is a good idea for Taika.
This is short.
I loved Taika in Ragnarok. I did not like Taika's Thor Love and Thunder. But I think this kind of short with that Thor and Love and Thunder jokes, it works.
Yeah, I think it was all,
in these kind of situations, this is where you could let him go full Taika.
Yes.
Rein him back a little in the movies, but in these specials, you can let him go and have fun.
Absolutely. So again, I don't know. Like I said, I think we'll get. I think Marvel has figured it out. Marvel's figured it out. There's always there's going to constantly be articles that keep addressing the quote unquote phrase of superhero fatigue. We'll always have these articles, right?
Oh yeah.
And box office numbers say otherwise, right? Streams are one thing because again, streams require people to be in the house. And the best and worst thing that happened for Disney Plus when it comes to Marvel Studios was the pandemic. And here's why I say this. I remember I was arguing with a friend of mine who's been on the show, Heather J. And she was like, ain't nobody watching the shows like they watch WandaVision. I was like, everyone was in the house. Everyone was home. That's why it was crashing the servers. No other show.
You had nothing else to go do. Like, that's what you do.
You had nothing else to do. So therefore, there's not a show that's going to crash the servers because people are out living life again. But yeah, some shows don't get the same streams. Again, they know that, but they have found a happy medium in these special presentations.
Yeah,
they have found a nice happy medium. This one happens to be a bridge to another movie. And like you said, okay, what have they been doing since then? Well, he's still sad about Gamora. Okay, he's sad. Christmas is coming. We got Nowhere now. So when you see that they own Nowhere in Guardians 3, you're like, oh, okay. You don't just feel like, how the fuck did they get it?
Yeah.
You have that. So again, I think there's a lot to still be answered. Again, I think this gives us I think Star-Lord and Drax are gone for sure.
Yeah.
I think Star-Lord and Drax are gone. But at the same time, I don't give a shit how you feel personally about Chris Pratt. I say this. He can leave now. He's been the character for so long. He can go, as is Dave Bautista. They can go. When you put in your certain amount of time with a character for so long, if you want to step aside, I always say this, you've earned the right to.
Yeah.
You've earned the right to. So, I mean, we'll see, right?
Yeah, I agree. Let him go. I don't know who the next Guardians are, whether we bring in some more of those Sylvester Stallone and those type of characters that we saw in Guardians 2, or if we keep with Rocket and Groot and Cosmo and Yondu, or not Yondu, but Nebula. I don't know. But
Nova's supposed to be coming.
Whatever they want to do, I'm all on board. Let's see.
All right, let's move on. So a lot of people have been asking, when will we get a Namor solo film or a Namor Disney Plus series? The answer is we won't, because Universal still owns the rights to it. It is a number of reasons why people didn't understand. I saw people being so stupid going, they didn't even call him the Submariner because they couldn't. They couldn't. So this was a recent interview from The Wrap. Marvel Studios producer Nate Moore said, Namor can return, but complicated rights issues with Universal Pictures make a solo movie an impossibility. We suspected this might be the case, of course. It seems poor Namor is stuck in the same predicament as the Hulk. He goes on further to say, quote, it honestly affects us more, and not to talk too much out of school, but in how we market the film and how we market the film, then does how we use him in the film. That sounded weird. That is literally the statement. I'm reading that again. It honestly affects us more, and not to talk too much out of school, but in how we market the film than it does how we use him in the film. He said there weren't really things we couldn't do from a character perspective for him, which is good because clearly we took a bunch of inspiration from the source material. We also made some big changes to anchor him in a way in that a world in a truth that publishing really never landed on. I would argue in a big way. I've read every Namor comic ever written and I love them, but in the world of Atlantis is vaguely drawn. Ryan is such a detailed-oriented filmmaker that he really wanted to anchor into something that felt as tangible and as real as hopefully as Wakanda fuels for people. And I think there was nothing from a business side anyway that was preventing us from doing that, which is great. Fine.
I never expect. I mean, I think because I knew the rights issues with Namor, I knew we weren't going to get a solo Namor project. Nor did I expect one, really. And again, one of my biggest issues was I didn't really care about him much in the movie. So I'm kind of okay with the fact that whatever, wherever we do use him, will be fine with me.
This is one of the things I've been irked about for the past couple of weeks with this movie, especially with certain people, black people in general, not all black people. People getting mad somehow the Tolakan citizens are more powerful than Wakanda. And they was like, I thought Wakanda was the most powerful nation in the world. Wakanda thought it was the most powerful nation in the world.
Yeah, when you don't know about a whole nother civilization,
when you don't know,
probably more powerful than you.
When you don't, a nigga came out the water to be on the borders of Wakanda, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. Yes, they're technologically advanced, abso-fucking-lutely, but they never expected a nigga with wings on his ankles and drenched in vibranium jewelry to come about the water looking sexy as fuck, threatening the queen. Again, the moral of Wakanda Forever is fuck around and find out, okay? I don't understand why people were like, oh, they just got whooped by them. Yes! You will always be beaten by somebody you cannot prepare for.
Yeah. And they literally, they basically came in and Pearl Harbored Wakanda.
Exactly what they did.
Yeah, we weren't prepared for Wakanda wasn't prepared for this attack. They didn't know anything was coming. It just came.
Wakanda always knew people would come to their borders they could see. They would come through the forest, in the air, things like that. They can see. They never suspected anyone being able to come from underwater, living underwater.
Yeah.
This nigga is, how do you know about vibranium? He's covered in this shit right now.
I love that line. Bro, he's covered in it.
He's covered in it. And so all of those things, and it's like, it doesn't diminish the value of what Wakanda is. That is with any civilization that has ever been made in science fiction, in comic books, cartoons, whatever. You are powerful until you meet an adversary you do not know. That's an actual war. So stop. But going forward, as of now, as the time of this recording, Wakanda Forever stands to make $600 million worldwide, I believe it is. Yeah, 600 million worldwide. Now, the question is, will it crack $1 billion? It may, but it may not do it as fast because Way of the Water is about to drop.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to take a lot away.
That's going to take a lot away. This wasn't, when Black Panther 1 came out, there was nothing. And the first Black Panther and Wakanda Forever are two completely different types of movies. Yes, they are.
Wakanda Forever is a very heavy movie because it's not just introducing you to Black Panther, it is grieving for Black Panther. So the rewatchability is not necessarily as strong because you really want to go back and revisit those emotions that hurt, whereas the first Black Panther was a very uplifting movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. And so we're going to talk about it in one of the one-on-ones. I mean, one of the emails that I have and things like that. But I really wish, and I know the internet going to do what the internet does. The internet's going to act the studio didn't do what I wanted to do. My personal feeling, what they should do. And I think people got to stop that shit and stop trying to say, oh, they don't respect the character. How the fuck do a studio that owns a character don't respect the character? Oh, they don't respect the character, that they don't respect black people, because they just want to let black characters die. Shut the fuck up. They don't.
Yeah.
You just mad because they didn't do what you wanted them to do.
We have genius, good smart man. Ken Knapsack says, speculate responsibly. Have your own speculations, but when it doesn't go your way, realize you're not the storyteller.
You are not the storyteller. You are not. And to sit there and say, well, look, this is what they can do in all the comic books, blah, blah, blah. I have said personally, every comic book will not be translated to screen the exact same way. We're talking about Namor. He cannot be translated the same because of rights and different things. But also you had to make his story. His story is actually way more interesting now with the way he is done in Wakanda Forever going forward. So when you're mad like, oh, well, we ain't got no Black Panther, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
It's about erasing black men. All they did was first of all, it is really telling that this year, and I'm going to stop talking about comics for a hot second. It is really telling that the movies that prominently feature black women and women, a lot of you niggas have really been mad at this year. It is real fucking telling how much y'all don't like women. You just like fucking them. It is very fucking telling because you want to constantly keep saying they're trying to eliminate men. They're trying to erase black men out of shit. They're not. They're not. It is just, this is a moment where black women are shining, and it's not going to dim you the fuck out.
No. Not one bit.
I am tired of hearing that shit. Well, what about my sons and all of them? They can still see shit. It is not gone.
It is good for them to see a strong black female role model.
Nigga,
too.
I was raised by a single mother. You goddamn right it is. But also, again, we act like this shit that was already there doesn't exist anymore. We act like shit isn't being made going forward. It is shit being done. The fuck are y'all talking about?
Blade is way back on track now.
Yes, I was just about to pull that up. They now have a man who directed the first episode of Lovecraft Country. They are good. They are good. And you got Blade happening. I don't give a fuck if you think he's an ancillary character or not.
Because Namor is a huge character.
No, I'm talking about Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Okay. What's funny is the people that like, they're replacing Iron Man with a black girl. No, that's not at all what they're doing. Not even the least bit. Like I have that conversation with people. Like when they replaced Iron Man with a black girl, I was like,
died in the fucking movie. He died. He fucking sacrificed himself. It was the culmination. Let me tell you something. Any of you motherfucking white dudes or any stupid ass black dudes or whatever race you may be that feels as though they're replacing Iron Man with a black woman. I'm looking at a camera like you can see me, but I don't give a fuck. I need you to understand, Tony snapping saying, I am Iron Man is the culmination of the argument on the helicarrier that him and Steve had when he told Steve everything special about you came out of a fucking bottle. And Steve told him, you are not the one to put your body on the wire for another man. And Tony proved it. And they both proved each other wrong. Because again, Tony said everything special about you came out of a bottle. Not true. Why? He lifted Milnor.
Mm-hmm.
He lifted Milnor.
The bottle can't let him do that.
The bottle can't let him do that. And then Tony sacrificed his life to get rid of everybody. That's what the culminate. So Tony's story is done. Riri Williams in the comics is a genius girl who found an old Iron Man suit and repurposed it. She is a genius. There are 3 geniuses in the MCU. 2 of them are black girls. Riri Williams and Shuri. The third is fucking Peter Parker.
So okay, that's what you're saying. I was like, well, I mean, there's also Reed Richards.
He doesn't exist
You're talking
yet.
about not there yet.
Not there yet. Reed doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, theoretically.
But
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, that makes sense.
So when people sit there and go this, they're getting rid of black. No, they're not. They're not. The Marvel universe within itself is expansive. Just as much as I talk about the DC universe, is expansive. The amount of character. Well, there's no other characters king. I know that's what makes the Black Panther character more than anything. It's not just T'Challa. It's because the majority of the issues were T'Challa. You know why all the issues had to be T'Challa to start out? It's because you could not make a Black Panther woman starting out because no one would have read the comics. If you want to go that route, it is the reason why Superman could have never been black initially to start out. Superman being black would be perfect. A black alien baby lands in Kansas raised by 2 white people, and he has to learn about humanity and racism all in one?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck are you talking about? But I digress. Ryan Coogler wrote a letter. Ryan Coogler, who everybody believes is not on Twitter, I believe he has a burner account, and it's like, you niggas will never find me. He wrote a letter. This is what he said.
This is a good letter too.
Gratitude. That is the only word that comes to mind for your support of our work on the film Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I am filled with it. Thank you. Thank you to the people who bought their tickets early and camped out opening weekend. Thank you to those of you who took their families out, young ones and elders in tow. To those who organized youth screenings and after parties, who bought out theaters for communities and friends. To all of you who watched multiple times and encouraged other folks to check it out. Our film is over 2.5 hours long, so thank you for holding those bathroom breaks. Our film has 6 languages spoken in it. Thank you for bearing with the subtitles. And our film deals with the inescapable human emotion of grief. Thank you for opening yourself up to the emotional journey of this film. We made something to honor our friend, who was a giant in our industry, and we also made something to be enjoyed in a theatrical setting with friends, families, and strangers. Something to be quoted and discussed, to be debated, something to make people both physically and emotionally feel seen. This medium wouldn't exist without an audience, and I thank you for giving me professional purpose and an emotional outlet. I look forward to bringing you more stories in the future. Sincerely, Ryan Coogler, Lalik Tolakan, Wakanda Forever, Chadwick Forever, long live T'Challa.
I love that. Is such a well-worded letter, and you feel his gratitude in it. You feel everything because just the way he says it, he puts the movie and he really puts it into perspective for me, because you think about it, and every MCU movie has something special about it, whether it is the performance or it is its connection to the MCU, its story, or whether it's the behind the scenes stuff. And this is one that is so special because of the behind the scenes stuff and what it means to the people involved and to those of us who enjoyed Chadwick's work. And so this is a love letter to him. This is a saying goodbye to our hero, Chadwick Boseman. And it may not be pushing a certain MCU narrative forward, but it is very special. And it gave us something that I personally think we all needed.
Yes. Again, you just think, oh, well, they didn't honor Chadwick the way I wanted them to honor Chadwick. They honored Chadwick the way they felt best honoring Chadwick.
They who knew him.
And stop bringing up, well, his family said he would want to be recasted. Chadwick Boseman knew he was going to die. I need you all to understand that. If that was the case, that would not have been a discussion at all. This wouldn't be a discussion. It would have been already set. That man knew he was dying. He knew he was going to die. He knew it. And if that man so much as this is, everybody keeps saying, Chadwick will want everybody, blah, blah. Chadwick will want the story told.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he wanted, the story to be told. Not just the story of T'Challa, the story, the whole story. And they are doing that.
Ryan's
story. There is only one other director that can take over the reins of this movie if Ryan Coogler does not do the third. There is only one. Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see. Well, I want to see his Creed 3 first. Now, I think Creed 3 looks incredible.
But that's what it is.
I want to see it.
Before an announcement is made, Creed 3 has to be phenomenal at the box office. Mm-hmm. Because that's his directorial debut.
And I'm not a huge fan of Creed 2, but I love the first one.
But
So
Creed 2 is still Stephen Caple Jr.
I know, but that makes me excited to see what Michael B. Jordan has done with this one.
Exactly. So these are people that knew this man.
Yeah.
Again, Ryan Coogler, Kevin Feige knew this man was dying. Not just sick, dying. To them, this is their way. They do it. I don't give a fuck what you say about, well, I feel like they should have. I don't care. Because guess what? Even what I say don't matter. What BC says doesn't matter. Why? Because we're not telling the story. Now, you can be a bitch and whine on the internet, and I'm not saying it's you all in particular listening to me. You can be a bitch and whine on the internet. Well, I'm not going to buy a ticket. It don't fucking matter. This movie has made $600 million in less than 2 to 3 weeks. I think they're going to be okay if you don't buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Your little I'm going to boycott the movie don't mean shit. It has made $600 million. At the end run of that movie, when it was number one for 13 weeks, when Black Panther 1 was out, it made $1.3 billion, something like that. Now, again, it came out in February. There was nothing behind it. There was nothing behind it till what? Captain Marvel.
If you remember when that movie came out, everything got the fuck away from it. Because everyone knew we don't want to come out around Black Panther.
And the only reason this kept being shuffled because of COVID. And everybody's movie slates have been shoved. So no matter what, you were going to be up against something. No matter what.
Yeah.
But to have generated $600 million worldwide, your argument is moot.
And like he said, it's a long movie. All right. So that means less showtimes, yet it's still making its money.
Stop with that. They need to do this. They need to do that. They're not going to do what you think they need to do. They're going to do what they feel is best. And guess what? It clearly was best because it's generated $600 million. And you don't generate $600 million off one-time viewings. I just need you to know that. You don't generate over $500 million off of one-time viewings. They knew what story they wanted to tell. The story they wanted to tell works for people. Every story ain't going to work for you, and that's fine. But you thinking being on the internet, oh, I'm going to make them change their mind. They're not. They're done. They already told you what they're going to do. We're not recasting them. We have a new T'Challa who's going to grow up by Secret Wars because magic is a fucking thing. There's a quantum realm where time goes differently. You can push. Remember also the first time they tried to make a quantum tunnel in the Avengers Endgame, you didn't push Lang through time. You pushed time through Lang. You can push time through T'Challa and grow him up. But I'm going to move on. All right. Spider-Man 4. Is it on the way? Probably. Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's a possibility.
So according to the Cosmic Circus, I don't know who the fuck this is, pre-production supposedly has begun to ramp up, which means the script is in place, concept art is being created. Now, again, it's speculation, but this is a tweet that shows that they said there's some speculation, pre-production going out. That means we'll start to get probably a title. John Watts is probably not going to direct the fourth one because he already passed on Fantastic Four to take a break from the MCU, and he's working on the Star Wars Skeleton Crew for Disney Plus. So if any type of announcement might happen that we might find out officially that there's a Spider-Man 4 in the works, it may come out of Comic-Con experience in Brazil next month. So we'll see.
I still don't know. Maybe, but I doubt it. I don't think we get an announcement.
For me, I'm one of those, what do we need an announcement for?
True. We know eventually there's going to be something.
Because
the story's not over yet.
Exactly. We've got so much going leading up to something else.
Yeah. So what are you going to tell me? Hey, there's another one. Okay, cool. Thanks.
It's me that don't get that part.
Unless the announcement is Spider-Man 4 is coming and here's our villain, then there's something to talk about. But hey, we're gonna do Spider-Man 4. Cool. All right. I got enough on my plate right now. I don't need to grab any of that yet. It ain't cooked yet.
And yes, we know there's a bunch of spots that are open for phase 5 and 6, I think. Like
Definitely
6.
6.
You yawning? You yawning on the show? I'm making you tired? I'm annoying you?
No, I couldn't sleep last night.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I got to wake up earlys, and I'm always tired, Jay. I live half asleep.
Excuse me, what?
I live half asleep.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like narcolepsy, and you might want to see a doctor about that. I don't think you could.
But yeah, all right, cool. There's going to be a Spider-Man 4. I know.
Okay. I just want to say there's nothing else about it. Just wanted to say it. What else? So this one is a pretty decent one. So Peyton Reed, who's directing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, has given us kind of a breakdown of who Kang is. And this is what he said. We wanted to explore the quantum realm. It's a massive, massive world-building undertaking. It owns in equal part to electron microscope photography, 70s and 80s heavy metals magazine stuff, and a lot of my favorite science fiction book cover artists. And there's a little Mobius in there. A fantastic realism and vibe. Now, he says when he asked about Kang, he said, Kang is a very different character compared to Loki's He Who Remains. He said he's someone who has dominion over time, and he's a warrior and a strategist. That's interesting to me, to take the tiniest and in some people's mind, weakest Avenger and put them up against this absolute force of nature. He goes on and talks about the profound impact that it will have on the wider MCU. He said Jeff Loveness, who wrote Quantumania, is writing the Kang Dynasty as well. So there's been a lot of discussion about the impact that this appearance of Kang the Conqueror makes. There are big things in store. Again, we know Kang has variants. This may be one Kang. We may get another Kang. We may get a Mortis. I am here for a Mortis because the Mortis is violent as fuck. So
I gotta look it up. That one goes beyond me.
So yeah. So
okay, Mortis. Okay,
Mortis. Okay. All right. So that's that.
Dude, I'm excited about this. The Ant-Man movie is getting higher and higher up on my excitement list as we hear more about it, because we already know like this is going to be a much darker Ant-Man movie than we have gotten so far, which I am really excited to see us jump into. It's something that really has stakes, because if you look at the last two Ant-Mans, they're kind of just like little heist movies, right?
Right.
And they don't have huge stakes other than his family stakes. So now it's really interesting to get into him having to deal with an Avengers level threat by himself.
Him with the other chick that can get tiny.
Gonna die.
That I hope now, listen, look, you can step on the Wasp and I think I'll be fine. I don't know any. To be honest,
I haven't liked Evangeline Lilly. I haven't liked the character at all.
And that's what I'm saying.
Let alone Evangeline Lilly.
Okay, we got to see her do some cool little stuff in Ant-Man and Wasp when we first saw her put the suit on. Mm-hmm. And especially that kitchen scene.
Yeah.
But look, I'm also fine with you stepping on Scott Lang. Just so people can
I think Scott Lang is too good of a marketing tool.
Yeah, because I need that podcast that was mentioned on Miss Marvel.
The podcast, it's just so easy for them to use Paul Rudd as marketing. So that's why I'm like, let's not kill him. But we don't need Wasp anymore because now we have Stature. And I care more about Stature and her relationship with Paul Rudd than I do Wasp.
Yeah. It's very, very true. All right, let's move on. That's all Marvel news we got. DC news real quick. Y'all gonna stop coming up with bullshit theories and think James Gunn ain't gonna shut you the fuck down. I'm just gonna say it like that. Look, James Gunn, we all know there's a bunch of clickbait bullshit sites. We got this covered. You've got Inside the Media, Cosmic Book News. You got Geekosity, all these. Let me tell you something. Geekosity tried to put a quote-unquote article talking about some Henry Cavill's new contract includes Superman TV appearances. James Gunn himself commented, says, I'm not sure if you purposely lying or being taken advantage of by someone lying to you, but as I've stated here before, no one knows what's happening at DC Studios right now other than me and Peter. That would include writing up any new contracts for anyone at this point. Y'all gonna stop. Look, y'all can quit thinking you dropped down and got some real information. And also, y'all.
I'm not gonna lie, Jay. I want to just start making up the most obscene, crazy rumors about the DCU and just see if I can get James Gunn to respond to me like that.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not gonna do it, because I'm trying to work on the James Gunn project.
That makes sense.
He is on the list. He is on the list of my directors I want to work with.
Jay Washington has been hired to play Lobo.
All of a sudden, yeah, Jay was like, I get a DM from him. So that's what you want, fam? That's what you want? Okay. Me just like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Gunn. Would you like a beer? Would you like a Budweiser? Budweiser for when you lie on James Gunn on the internet. Budweiser for when James Gunn calls out your bullshit website. Have you ever thought about making an article and saying that a character was crossing over into a universe that nobody's ever seen, but you knew was coming? And you just wanted the people to know that character is from the DC universe, and he's going to appear in the Marvel Studios. And you publish that article, you put it on the internet, you put it on the Bird app, you go on Beyonce's internet, and you tell everybody that it just exists. Budweiser for when James Gunn shows up in your mentions and shuts you the fuck down. Budweiser.
How do we not have a sponsorship already?
Have you ever put out an article and said that James Gunn was in the middle of a Suicide Squad orgy party and you published it because you knew that it was going to get clicks, and you said that James Gunn was getting spanked with Harley Quinn's paddle? Budweiser for when your eyes wide shut party gets you fucked up on the internet. Budweiser. I'm just saying.
I do love how he's just calling. He's like, no, that's not at all what we're doing. Y'all don't know what we're doing either.
Like, no one, I'm the only one or two people. All right, so look, that's all the news we got. I want to get to these emails. MadTitanPodcast@gmail.com, MadTitanPodcast@gmail.com. 818-276-6947. You want to call a hotline, 818-276-6947. That's that. So this is an email that came last week, and I don't know how, but it went into my spam folder. So I didn't see it until I happened to check the spam folder. So I want to read this one first. It's from the homie Bobby McMillan, who's a member of my one-on-one with the Supervillain Squad, who's a member of my Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J. Washington. Please support. I'm not going to be able to read all the names today because we got to get out of here pretty soon. Y'all already know who you are. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you got your one-on-ones, if you haven't set it up, please hit me up. All right. So this is what he says. You ready, BC?
Yeah.
It says Wakanda Forever follow-up. It says, what up, Jay and BC? I wanted to give my thoughts on Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. This could not wait for our one-on-one meeting, which we're doing later on today. Just for clarification, I've seen this movie twice. I'm giving you my raw and uncut emotions. As E-Man is, I'm in the belief that T'Challa should be recasted. Also, like E-Man, I believe recasting didn't need to take place in this movie. I have no issues with Shuri becoming Black Panther, as we discussed before. Black female representation is just important to me as Black male representation. I did love the Black and brown representation this movie displayed. I hope Latin men and women had the same feelings as I had when I first seen Captain America: Civil War. However, when I watched the movie the first time, I was immediately angered by what they did at the beginning. It was a reality for me that T'Challa was really gone forever. Though I enjoyed the movie, I admittedly hate-watched it. It's really conflicting for me. I had no emotional connection to the tribute or anything. I am normally an emotional guy. My wife gets on me for crying all the time during movies and TV shows. He said, I went to sleep and I watched the movie again the next morning with my wife and daughter. My daughter's 8 years old, and she vaguely remembers going to see the first Black Panther. Watching this movie sitting next to my daughter and hearing and seeing her reaction to the greatness of Black excellence gave me different emotions watching it for the second time. How Okoye and the rest of the Dora Milaje did work right out the gate, seeing her get giddy when Riri first flew in her Ironheart suit. Seeing my daughter see Black royalty, Black heroes, Black female heroes overcome. To see her get excited about Shuri becoming a new Black Panther. These are all things that allow me to get out of my stubbornness and enjoy the movie for what it is. My daughter wants to go see it again, so we're going to go see it again for sure. Maybe it's the emotions of seeing my daughter really enjoy the movie. Maybe it was me knowing what was coming. Maybe it was throwing my own garb on the fire and accepting what reality is for the MCU. But I also felt the Chadwick tributes at the beginning and end really got me the second time around as well. Tears were flowing. I really hope they continue to tell the story and just find some way to tell it through his son. As always, much love and continued success, to you and BC later. Sincerely, Bobby McMillian. Appreciate that, man. And again, I think he said it best.
I loved everything about the entire journey we went on in that email. I loved that. I love that he went in, after he didn't like it at first, and then being able to open up and see the joy it brings his daughters. I love that. That's how you should be. You should be able to.
But also him also saying he admittedly hate watched it because he knew what it meant.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that you could do that and not negatively affect someone else, just be able to say, I did not like it. I was hating watching it. But then I start seeing the joy it brings other people. And then I'm like, oh, that's what this was. It brings joy. I've already got joy out of these. This is now bringing that kind of joy to someone else that I care about. And that's awesome. Not every single movie is made for every single person. All right. You're going to have different fucking connections. And that was ideal. I loved it. Well worded, well said. Love this dude.
I like the way he said it again. You see so much the Dora Milaje work out the gate. When them motherfuckers come out the dark on that Wakanda ship and just start beating it, you're like, oh shit! Just start beating ass. I hate when people were like, M'Baku was just a joke. I'm like, what did M'Baku did the same thing M'Baku did in the first one.
Yeah, M'Baku was once again a voice of reason.
He was a voice of, and he becomes the fucking king of Wakanda. What are you talking about? He becomes the king.
I loved it. I don't.
So
he said everything I could say.
Yeah, I don't think I can say anything more. So thank you for your email, Bobby. We'll talk probably more during your one-on-one this Wednesday. All right, this other email comes from Jolene. You ready for what this subject is?
I don't know.
Gambit talk.
Okay.
Hey, JMBC. Okay, I know I don't like Gambit, but I recognize people love him and want to see him in movies. But I've got to ask, what about Channing Tatum screams Gambit? I love Channing Tatum, but in my opinion, his best work is like ridiculous comedies where he's a big, dumb meathead. Yes, he's hot, but he's got the face of a dumb jock in an 80s college comedy. Do we really want to hear him put on a Cajun accent and talk about how he was in the Thieves Guild? Like, if this man said, I want to be Cyclops or Colossus, I would see it. But Gambit? Anyway, look forward to your reactions.
He has actually shown people his Cajun accent that he was working on for Gambit. And by all accounts that I've heard, I haven't actually heard it, but I have read people that have talked to him and and shown him the voice, and they go, oh, he really can do a Cajun accent. That's weird as shit.
I just don't know. I mean, all the mock-ups I've seen of him as Gambit, I will admit, have looked pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot lie, but it never just stuck out Channing Tatum as Gambit to me.
Well, to me, Gambit's kind of a fuckboy. All right?
Kind of.
So I kind of feel Channing Tatum fits perfect because he looks like a fuckboy.
The thing is, and I agree with Jolene, Channing Tatum works in big dumb kind. I will always go back to This Is the End when this motherfucker was the Gimp.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what? Why is he was like, it's Channing Tatum? I butt fuck him. What? But in a different side, I got to see the ruthless side of Channing Tatum in The Hateful Eight.
Mm-hmm. And then you get a dramatic with him in Dog.
Hey,
co-starring Jay Washington.
I was like, have you seen that movie? That's a good movie.
I am going to say, I'm really mad. They did not mention you at all in the cinema sins of everything wrong with Dog. And I was like, well, one, that means Jay had nothing wrong with his lines. He did a great job.
They cut Jay's scene completely.
You could have at least been like, there is no more Jay in this scene. God.
Man, they cut my shit. Like literally, when I get up, so the original scene is I get up, There's a 6'4" dude. I him up against the gate. Hey, I'm hemming this nigga up. They got 8 cops coming in trying to drag me out. Here was the thing. Before we started shooting, when we were going over scene, I told all the dudes playing cops, I said, I'm telling you now, I need y'all to really try to pull me. Because if you don't, I'm letting you know I'm going to fling y'all off me. So one dude must have thought I was bullshitting when we did the first take. A couple of them grabbed, and I just took my left arm and slung them. And they were like, what the fuck?
I told them to hold me.
They didn't realize it. Because a lot of people think because I'm not as tall as everybody, they don't think I possess this strength that I have. Mm-hmm. So when they realize, oh, it's raw strength he has. Yes, bitch. That's why I'm telling you, you want this to look good on camera. I'm going to give you the look, but you're going to have to play your part. Or if not, they're going to be like, why is this superhuman Negro in jail? Because I'm already hemming up a 6'4" dude.
Yeah.
I'm already hemming up a dude bigger than me. If y'all come in here and grab me and then I fling y'all, you're going to be like, he's on drugs, right? And they be like, no, he's not. Then you're like, he's a mutant. So that's why I was mad y'all didn't see that. But I digress. It happens. I always get it. Again, as someone in TV and film, I completely understand. Yeah. A lot of times you shoot shit and it gets cut. There's a scene I did in episode 8 of American Gigolo that they cut out in the beginning, and it was hilarious because when Julian walks in, Luther's taking inventory in the back of the restaurant, and Julian walks in, Luther barely looks up. He goes, "Hey, before you clock in, old man shit up in the bathroom. I need you to go clean that off." And so Julian starts walking off, and Luther just turns his head. Hey, you might want to get some gloves, and just goes right back to doing inventory. Dude, I had the whole crew crying because all that was off my head. Beautiful say, I was like, this shit gonna make the episode, and it didn't. But
oh man, that's a bummer.
But that's the thing. But I'm still in the episode later.
Yeah.
But it's those things happen in TV and film. Mm-hmm. You get it. You're like, oh, sometimes shit get cut out. So to see, that, but I don't know. Just Channing Tatum is Gambit. I mean, he does look like a fuckboy. Super cool dude. But I would have to have heard the accent. I think that's it for me.
I think over the years, I believe in his acting ability now. I think he's a good actor. Mm-hmm. And so if they want to bring him in, I think it's good. I don't see him as Cyclops because
why not?
Because I want to see his comedic chops, and I don't want Cyclops to be making quips.
Well, could he be making dorky quips?
Yeah, possibly. Why, you think he'd make a good Cyclops?
If he looks like 90s X-Men cartoon Cyclops. If you really look at Channing Tatum, he could be 90s Scott Summers. I would put him more than I would James Marsden, to be quite honest.
Really? I thought they wasted James Marsden.
Well, go ahead. Just give me your thoughts on that.
That's it. I just think they wasted him by making him a kind of mind-controlled goon in the second one and then killing him in the third one.
Okay, that regard, yes. But I mean, look, it's better than Cyclops being a cuck.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. For those who don't understand, this motherfucker's girl, she likes him, but she still want to fuck Wolverine.
Yeah.
And while she getting adamantium splooged, he's like, Pacino, I love you. Like,
yeah.
In the new comics, they're in a throuple.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yes, they're in a throuple in the new comics. So
it's weird.
I mean, kill this nigga. Like,
I always liked the idea that Wolverine never got the girl.
I was so glad they didn't I was like, please God, don't do this in Days of Future Past. Please don't, because this is going to be creepy, because Gene a whole teen, and he is about 180. Like, he already old no matter what.
Yeah.
It didn't look bad in the X-Men movie with Famke Jensen.
Yes,
The
it
aesthetic
would look bad with
Sophie Turner.
Yeah,
The
I was gonna say
aesthetic,
Sansa.
yeah, with Sansa Stark, who's already went through a lot of shit, right?
That
Yeah.
fucking bitch, whatever.
Oh my God.
Everything that happens in Game of Thrones is Sansa's fault.
This is true. This is very true. This is you are absolute. Go ahead. Say it. Say it.
If she would have just told the fucking truth in the beginning, hey, your son, your prince son is a piece of shit.
If she would have told the truth, if she tells the truth,
Robert Baratheon doesn't punish her.
Baratheon doesn't punish her. Ned doesn't event because then Baratheon don't go out drunk and shit, hunting a boar to die. Joffrey don't become king and kill because now he hates Arya. He doesn't kill her daddy, which sets a whole lot of shit in motion.
Mm-hmm.
It sets a whole lot of shit in motion.
So I continually tell people, I'm like, no, fuck Sansa, fuck that bitch.
Tony Stark is the whole problem, is the reason for everything that's happening in the MCU.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like, we never openly admit that. If Tony Stark is not a weapons dealer, none of this ever happens.
If he never creates an Iron Man suit.
Because
everything
again,
just stays hidden. Captain Marvel stays away.
She's gone. She never has to come back. Steve stays in the ice probably.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Banner.
However, does Hydra still come out with Winter Soldier stuff?
Hydra was always working behind the scenes. Remember, Zola told you that. Yeah. Hydra's always been working. Winter Soldier was he was activated.
No, not like the Winter Soldier. I mean the ships that are going to knock everybody off.
Well, that's again, the algorithm is used, but it's probably not needed because everybody isn't coming out the woodworks and shit isn't starting to happen.
Oh, that's right. There are no other superheroes.
The things aren't starting to be put in place where everybody's now their heroes are becoming a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
So like it goes to DC. If Batman never puts on the suit, are there supervillains in Gotham? Remember, and go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You
same thing in Batman Begins.
That's exactly what I'm about to bring up.
We start wearing armor. They get armor piercing rounds. You're wearing a mask. Guy with a flair for the theatrics leaves a calling card.
The heroes create the villains.
Mm-hmm.
They're always going to be criminals. That's a given. You can't change. There will always be criminals, and that's why there always will be the police.
Yeah.
But villains are only created by the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
The heroes always create their villains.
Yeah.
And Sansa Stark didn't deserve what happened to her.
No.
But bitch, if you'd have told the truth instead of trying to impress bitch ass Joffrey.
Also, if Batman would have just killed that little kid instead of giving him night vision goggles, boom, no Joffrey. You didn't know that's the same actor, did you? Are you looking for a clip to play?
I can't even move to look for a clip. I'm just sitting here just stuck. I'm so angry.
Every time I watch Batman Begins, I'm like, bitch, don't give him those night vision goggles. That's Joffrey, dog.
In other words, if Christian Bale takes a Halls, he clears his throat.
Oh shit! Okay. Now we're way off in left field.
Budweiser. When times when your voice gets real deep and you want to go ahead and scare people in the night and dress like a bat, and also you sleep with young men, but you tell people you're a billionaire playboy. Budweiser. If you don't think Bruce Wayne is fucking young boards, Budweiser.
God damn.
For when you want Dick Grayson to slide down your bat pole.
Bro. That's Robin.
It's Nightwing. Him Nightwing. All right, listen. That's all we got, man, for this post-holiday edition of the Mad Titan podcast. Thank you to everybody who's listened. Before we go any further, please, whatever podcast app you're listening to us on, rate and subscribe. Please rate and subscribe. Gets higher in the algorithm. I can tell we're both getting tired out because it's been a long weekend. Everything. BC, as always, I thank you. I appreciate you. We having fun doing this. Tell the people how they can find you.
Love coming on the show, man. Love doing this with you. It's my favorite part of the week is getting here and recording and talking bullshit with my peoples. But yeah, you can find me on all social medias at TheGrindCalls, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and now the Hive. I am super famous on Hive. I have 5 followers. Boom. What's up? Represent. We hiving.
I'm sorry, what?
We hiving, bro.
Okay. All right.
Are you using the app or are you looking at it online?
I don't know how to look at it online. I just use the app.
The app is kind of shit.
Bro, here's the thing. Okay. We got everybody's joining Hive because potentially this is going to be the move after Twitter, right?
Yeah.
The problem people have to get, it is 2 motherfuckers that run this.
Okay.
The Hive was never expected to blow up out of nowhere. In like 3 days, they got millions of viewers. Everybody was like, what the fuck? It is 2 people. 2.
Because like I have a hard time searching for people on there. And
the way you got to search, the way you have to search, you can't use the ads. You have to use their screen name. It's hard to find people. It's weird. But again, it's 2 people. I will give them a break.
I'm just excited to put music on my profile.
That's all I'm waiting. I'm just waiting to put music on my shit.
Look at my space, baby.
I'm telling you something. I'm telling you, if you call my phone, matter of fact, I want BC to call my phone real quick. I want BC to, so this is so y'all can hear what my ringtone is when you call me. So this way you know what my profile music gonna be. Okay, we went.
Try Jesus, not me. 'Cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me. Because I fight.
Tell you something. Try Jesus, not me, because I throw hands, nigga. That's my music. Anyway, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Hive. All Mr. J Washington. MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. The Patreon as well, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I'm going to put BC on the Patreon thing. He's in the Discord. I want BC to start the wrestling talk with everything and things like that, so we can do that. Or not even just wrestling, just talk about Star Wars. Let's talk about stuff, whatever. We're going to start more shit over there. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mr. J Washington. You can do that. If you want to support the show, you can Cash App, Venmo. If you want to make sure that I keep an internet on and a house to live, because I'm going to be homeless.
Feel free to tell them to pay me too.
Yeah, that wasn't a part of them. Okay. So you know what? We're going to go ahead to all the members of the squad. I appreciate y'all. I'll read y'all names out later. All that good stuff. Look, we will holler at y'all next week. We are going to be in December. Diciembre. When we get back next week.
Christmas season, baby.
Yo, the year is almost over.
I know, right?
Holler at y'all later. We out. Take care. Bye.